so I think I've got quite a nice practice. Do you all have a strap that you can use or something along those lines? Yeah, go grab that then. So why don't you make it into a big loop now? I always kind of have mine set on a loop. I just never ever unloop it, even if the loop is mini. But now just set it up so that you've got a kind of a loop going on so that you don't have to worry about it too much in a moment. And eventually what will happen is that you'll be able to pull on it. So make sure that you've got your buckle set up so it's gone through and then back again on itself, so that when you pull these two ends of it, it stays pretty taut. And then you're going to use that around your body in a minute. Always, I know we did strap etiquette or strap kind of guidance a couple of weeks ago, but just always remember, and it's especially true in yin, you don't want the buckle touching any bit of your body, because it might feel okay in the first 30 seconds of the practice, but after a minute or two, it's just going to be super comfortable. And I see people with the buckle resting on their head or on their shoulder or something. Like, really? Is that really what you wanted to really how you want to spend 5 minutes? So yeah, don't do that, but always have the end of the strap within reach of your arms in case you want to tighten it as well, so that you get some extra depth into your practice. Okay, good. I think we're all present and correct for now. So I'm going to pin my video and I'm going to pop you guys onto mute. If you need me, wave at me or ask me a question in the chat box. I can see you on my other screen, so I will keep an eye on what you're doing. And if you do want me to give you kind of contribute, if you like, to what you're doing, then make sure that I can see you on your mat, because sometimes I can only see your feet or and that's not, I'm not going to be able to make comment on things, but I will try to give you as good as a description as possible so that you can feel your own way into this practice. And remember, it's never, yin is never a practice about what it looks like. It's always a practice of what it feels like. And the feel is paramount. So you want to be feeling a stretch in the target area, and I'll always tell you where that is, where I want you to be feeling something. And the degree of that stretch or that intensity is up to you. You can take it up to 70%, you could be back down at 50%, but you must listen to your body. No one knows what that feels like. What it feels like is totally your own realm. And I can't see that on a screen, and I wouldn't be able to see that if I was in a class with you either. So be kind to yourself. This is a practice that is here to challenge. We do want to create healthy stresses for the body, and those stresses come in the form of stretches or in compression or contraction of the body. So so make sure you're feeling it in the right place and feeling it to a level that you want to feel it at, and there shouldn't be any pain and you shouldn't be in any discomfort. And if you are, wave at me and I'll give you a suggestion for what we can do. So why don't we start lying down, and you're going to lay on your back. Maybe have things to hand. If you've got a bolster, have a bolster. If you haven't, don't worry. We're not going to necessarily use it very much tonight anyway. However, if you do have a blanket, you might want to make sure that a blanket is to hand as well, and that you've got basically your strap. And we'll consider this a more restorative yin practice. Restorative yoga and yin yoga are totally different, but we get away with calling yin restorative when it's mainly laying down on your back, which is what you're going to do tonight. So come and take a little lie down, maybe with your knees supported, maybe just with your feet on the floor and your knees bent. Relax the back of your body down into the ground, have a little bit of a shuffle around, a little bit of a play around so that you feel comfortable. And then what I'd like you to do is place your hands onto your belly. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable with that. And take the next 5 or 6 breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. So let's just start our practice by sighing out some of the weight of the day, some of the heaviness, some of the thoughts, some of the busyness, whatever it is that has kind of benchmarked your day today. What do you need to let go of? So open your mouth, sigh out. Breathe into your hands so you feel your tummy expanding and the breath moving in deeply. Breathing out, just take a couple more of these, or as many as you feel you need. We'll do one more. And then what I'd like you to do next is stay on your back. Take your right hand and close gently the right nostril. So you don't need to press near the edge here. You can press just slightly kind of up, maybe halfway up, and just the lightest of pressure here will close that nostril. And I'd like you to take the next maybe 10 or 12 breaths in through just your left nostril, please. This is smooth, slower, gentler breathing compared to what you were doing just a moment ago. So breathing into the left nostril. This is the lunar channel. The more feminine, yin-like side of the body. And so we're starting our yin practice with some yin breathing. If it's uncomfortable for your shoulder to stay here for this many breaths, then please release your hand and take your breath back to its normal rhythm. And can you take one more breath here, please? Then let go of the hand. Relax your arm. All right, let's get ready for our first yin pose. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to do like a yin yasana. We're going to do 3 poses back to back, one after the other on the right hand side of the body. And then we'll do the same 3 back to back on the left hand side of the body. And that will probably take us through to the end of the practice. So what you're going to do is you're going to start off, you can do this without the strap. So that have the strap here, have the bolster here, have your blanket here, just in case. So you're going to come into a half happy baby. So happy baby is this. I know I've got black on. I've come straight from the clinic, so I'm in black, which I know isn't always the most helpful for you to be able to see what I'm doing. But I've got my hand onto my leg and my knee is opening out to the side. So maybe I could bring it to the floor if I wanted to and just hang out here. I am looking for a stretch along the back of the leg here, and I'm looking for a little bit of compression in the front of the hip. But obviously that will be determined. If your knee is over your chest, then you might want to take your, and it feels uncomfortable, sorry, then you might want to take your knee wider out to the side. Now, in a normal practice, we would hold on to the foot, but because this is yin and we want to make it a little bit more chilled and a bit more restorative, then you could take your strap, loop it around the back of your body, and then you could, and obviously you've got to play with the length of this, so just give us a no. So you could use your strap to pull your knee or to pull down on your foot, so it's kind of holding your leg in place. Okay, now this sometimes takes a little bit of fiddling around. You are going to want the strap behind your ribs rather than around your lower back, probably because that's going to make more sense to the shape of Happy Baby. You might not keep your knee as deep as you would if you were pulling on it, and that's okay, it doesn't matter. And you might want to put your left foot on your bolster. Sometimes that feels nice, or even just to rest it onto something elevated is quite nice too. The blanket could go under your head, and you could gently roll, if you look at what I'm doing, you could gently roll this end of it up so that it supports into the back of your neck. Okay, so I hope you've kind of got enough instructions to get you going. I'm going to come and have a look at you all over on the screen, so just wave at me if you need any suggestions at all. But essentially we're going to stay here for the next 4 minutes. And if you need to come out sooner, you know that it's absolutely fine to do that. That looks lovely. So remember what I said at the beginning, it's not a practice of what it looks like, it's a practice of what it feels like. So if the target area is the hip and you've got the stretch into your glutes or even into your hamstring, then you're in the right place. It doesn't matter where the knee points, it doesn't matter the bend of the knee or the angle that the foot is pointing in. All that matters is that you feel the stretch in the target area and you're not in any discomfort or in any difficulty that might mean that you can't stay here for the suggested time. Now I'd like you to breathe again gently in and out through the nose. And I'd like you to stay with the sensation of the pose and allow yourself to feel the feelings of being here. This is the physical feeling at the moment, the experience of what this shape is doing to your body. So you have 1 more minute left in this shape. Please make adjustments, and if you want to go deeper, you're welcome to do that too by tightening the strap or adjusting the position of your leg. So please take one more breath here. And then the pose is not going to differ that much. I'll just turn my timer off. So you were here, and let's say I'm doing this without the strap. You're then going to bring the foot across your body. So it's like you're practicing for a figure of four. It might be that you do rest your foot onto your thigh and have your foot on your bolster, and that might give you a glute stretch there that feels quite nice. Or you can keep the strap looped around you, make your figure of four shape, and then loop the strap around the shin, tighten it all the way up so that you've got it being pulled in towards you. So you can kind of hang out here and not have to hold on. This is going to give you more of a glute stretch than the previous pose, I would imagine. So please just take it to a depth that you feel comfortable with. All right. So you're very welcome to hold the foot and the knee with your hands and kind of guide the the shape of the figure of four closer to you. You could even forget the left leg and just let it hang out and just hold the leg in towards you, such as this, or use your strap around your knee and your foot so that you can use the strap to hold your leg in this position. So again, just have a play with it, see what works for you. This is the opposite of sleeping swan. So sleeping swan, you would be on your front. If you would prefer to do sleeping swan, there is always that possibility. You can come into that if you would rather it. Okay. Timer is going on now for another 4 minutes, which is a long time. And there's always the same rules apply. If you've had enough and you want to come out, you can. So we're getting a little bit deeper into the hips or hip when you're doing one side. Previously, you felt the sensation of being here. This time, for this variation, and this might apply to some of you and be welcome to some of you, and for others of you, you might want to disregard this. So feel free to forget about thinking about this. I want you to see if there is a sensation in your hip or in these muscles or regions of the body that you are working in, and whether or not you can associate it with an emotion. So previously you felt the feels of the physicality of being here and what sensations that was bringing up. Now can you feel the feels of any emotions that might be being stored, held here, good or positive or negative? I'm not looking for necessarily negative emotion. It might be that your confidence is here. It might be, you have this inner belief and it comes from the steadiness and the strength of your legs. I don't know. I don't have any answers, and there isn't a right answer or a wrong answer. But if you have got an emotion that's here and you would like to connect into it, use the next little bit of time, we're halfway through, to feel the feel of this pose. Final minute. If you want to go deeper, go deeper. If you want to come out, come out. Take your last breath here. Okay. So I'm going to turn around to the other end just so that it makes it easier for you to see this. So you've just been in a figure of four. You're going to maintain this figure of four shape, but roll it over to your left. Maybe so that the feet and the knee come down towards the ground. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't quite make it and you want to put something underneath them to support them. I would suggest try to keep your knee up to the ceiling and the foot flat. As long as you're feeling this in the glute, that's great. So you're in the side of the hip. But also now you've factored in a rotation. So you could encourage the spine to turn and open the arms out or have the arms in a comfortable position. You could even take the arms up and over your head. So this again is just a suggestion. You can keep your strap looped around you, keep your strap looped around your figure of four shape, and then use your strap to keep you here so you don't feel your feet are kind of sliding away from you. Remember that you're not looking to maximize your potential range of movement, but instead come into something that is maybe 60 to 70% of your range so that you can stay here for the time. Okay. So previously, I asked you to think about the emotion you most associate with this part of your body, or you might feel bubbling up to the surface. Twists are very symbolic of wringing out, aren't they? Of letting things go, of getting rid of the, you know, the stagnation. And that's what I want you to do now. So whilst you're in the twist, if whatever came up for you previously was something that you want to let go of and to be, you know, to be shot of, then breathe that out of your body now. If, however, you were not going down the emotional line and you were just presently being with the pose, then that's what I want you to do. Be with the sensation of the pose. Breathe gently and smoothly. Enjoy the stillness that this practice offers us. 1 minute remains. Your chance to go a little bit deeper or to back off a little bit. Take your last breath here. And then let's think about unwinding, untying yourself and coming into a resting position of your choice. Come into neutral. Let your body go where it needs to go, but don't be in a hurry to counterpose or to unwind the other way. Just come into the stillness of this mini Shavasana and feel the experience of being here without being tempted to run away from it, to change it by moving or stretching the other way. Keep the breath even. And also enjoy the sensations on the right side of the body compared to the sensations on the left side of the body. And so let's think about setting up for the second side. The second side might look completely different to the first side. It doesn't have to replicate it. You don't have to use the props in the same way. You don't even have to make the pose look the same way either. However, do make sure that you're working the other leg, otherwise there's not much point. So we'll start with our half happy baby, which might simply be for you a hugging in of the knee. It might be that you hold on to the back of the knee. So this is a slightly different way of practicing. And again, you could loop the strap here around the back of the thigh and around the chest like you did before. It doesn't have to be that the end of the strap is looped around the foot, which is kind of a more classic way of doing it. So if you want to try something different this time, then please do. Or you could just have no strap and just hold the foot. And remember, where the knee points doesn't matter. What matters is the sensation and the comfort levels of your leg being in this position. So if it's very tight and it's pinching right in here, you might need to change where your knee is to give you a little bit more space in the front of the hip. So don't be afraid to change the angle or even to lessen the intensity of the pose, just so that you're not creating discomfort, because it just doesn't work, it doesn't last. You can't stay in a shape all the while you're uncomfortable with it. Okay. So option to put the other foot on the bolster or put the bolster under the thigh or the knee. I love it when everybody's animals come to join the practice. So do as much as you can now to relax into the other areas of your body. And feel the feeling of being here. Feel the physical sensation of what this shape is doing to your body. What effect is it having? One more minute here. Your chance to adapt, to lessen, or to do more. Sorry, I didn't realise that sound was on, heard me coughing. Okay, but that's our time to now change. So next shape is the figure of four. So the left knee stays in, you know what to do, cross it over and decide what intensity do you want. You don't necessarily want your right leg, which is supporting you, to have to be doing a lot of work. So use support or use the strap if you want something to give your right leg a little bit of ease. Feel this into the glute. And And remember that you are just laying on your back, so this is just the figure of 4. And we'll do the twist next time for the next 4 minutes. So 4 minutes here in your upside down swan pose. And it could be that you rest your right foot onto the wall or a chair or some furniture. Make use of the space around you. If it's going to help. Mhm. So this time we're going into if there is an emotion settled here, which remember the two sides of your body, whilst we're all one body and they belong to you, might not necessarily contain the same sensations, the same emotions. We store things in all sorts of odd fashions around our bodies. So what you feel here, if anything, allow it to be acknowledged. Recognize it. Celebrate it if it needs celebrating. Or simply sit with it if it's maybe a little bit more of a challenging emotion. Like I said before, there might not be anything that comes up, and that's fine. That's normal. You don't have to force this side of the practice. But if there is something sitting there and you want to kind of make friends with it, breathe into this space. Be present. Lie with it. Be with it. You have 1 minute left. So let's take one more breath here. And then prepare yourself to roll into the twist. It doesn't have to be very strong, it can be very mild, lots of props. And where the knee points or doesn't point is up to you. You might like to change the leg shape here completely if you really wanted to, and just concentrate on the rotation through the spine rather than the glute stretch that we're also incorporating. Think about the emotions from the previous shape and whether they're emotions that you would like to let go of. Use your time here to breathe them out, to say goodbye to them, to release them down into the earth for healing and for transformation. Often these emotions come along because they're trying to protect us. But they do their job of protecting us so well that they get locked into our bodies. And we find it so hard to let go of them that they cause a set of problems of their own. We don't need to hold on so tightly. It is okay to let go, to wave them off, to say goodbye to them like you would, when a family member has come to stay for a few days. And you're sad to see them go, but also happy. You get your home back, your house is back. You have 1 minute left. Means I'd like you to let go of this shape completely and come to neutral. Whatever that means, whether it's laying on your back, on your side, on your front, it doesn't matter. This is the opportunity to process, to be present, or to simply do nothing, feel nothing, be under no pressure to do anything that doesn't appeal to you. Stay here for one more breath. And you're going to think about coming into your final shape. And this might be a shape that uses your bolster. So you're going to stay on your back. And this is optional, by the way. I'll give you a suggestion with the blanket in a minute. So one option is to come into a supported bridge like this and just hang out here with the feet on the floor, the knees bent. Option again to take the arms up or out wide or however you'd like them to be. You could stretch the legs out either straight away or at some point into the pose. But if you know that this is too high, being on something like this, then you could substitute it for a brick of some kind or even your blanket. So you've got a little support underneath you, but not such a high one. You could use a cushion. You could, if your brick feels too hard, you could cover it, wrap it up with your blanket so that it's softer. But do make sure that it's on the back of your pelvis. It's on your sacrum rather than into your lumbar in your lower back. All right. If you don't fancy this and it's uncomfortable for your back, even if it's really padded and really supported, then one other option is to just lie with your feet in the air instead. Okay, so we're doing a little back bend is the main pose. Therefore, you're going to feel this into the front of your body, potentially, maybe into the front of your hips. If your legs are straight, you're going to get more stretch going down the hips and into the top of the thighs. But also what's happening here is a mild squeezing together of the bones of the lower back. This is called compression. This has the potential to keep your bones healthy and strong. And is also a position that we really need to offer our spines on a daily basis. If I only had time to teach one pose, or there was only, one pose left on my desert island discs, then it would be a back bend. Simply to undo some of the postural habits that we have day after day after day. You're about halfway through your time here, so if you want to, you can change it. Stretch the legs, stretch the arms, or indeed anything that you feel inclined to do. Last couple of breaths here. And then let's release this shape and come into your final rest. Maybe you'd like to have the bolster under the knees to take off any pressure from your low back. Maybe you do need to hug your knees into your chest and rock across the back of your body. I know that I'd like often for the rebounds for you to be really still, but as this is a longer rebound, you might need some time to gently unwind your way back into it. And I know I don't always offer you a shavasana at the end of these practices, because ideally I'd like you to slip yourself straight off, go get into bed, do your sleeping there. So if it helps you to stay awake, keep a foot uncovered out of your blanket so that it's cold, or place your palm on a cold floor, for instance. Do something that is just going to take you out of absolute comfort and warmth so that you don't get too sleepy. Start to deepen your breath. Take a stretch out or bring your knees in towards your chest so that you can rock if you like. Gently roll yourself to one side and just pause there for a moment if you can. If you'd rather come up to sit sooner, you're very welcome, but just stay for a moment. Try not to be in too much of a hurry to come out of this yin practice. Do not dwell on the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. 3 things cannot long be hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. Do not dwell on the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. 3 things cannot long be hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. When you're ready, making your way up to sit. Sit with ease. Bring your palms together in front of your heart when you're there. Take your time. Thank you so much for practicing together tonight. And I wish you a very peaceful and deep night's sleep. Namaste to you all.